So when it comes to improving as artists, the first thing we think about is practice. How to draw better, paint faster, and master new techniques. And of course, this makes sense since we all want to get better and improve our technical skills, right? And due to all that, there's a lot of advice out there on practical habits that we need to adopt in order to become better artists. But it got me thinking about the other side of the equation that doesn't really get talked about as much, especially in the art community. In today's video, I want to share a few not so typical art habits that I believe are just as important, maybe even slightly more important, that we need to adopt as well in order to become better artists. These are all simple yet very efficient habits that we easily tend to forget, especially when we are blinded by the need to lock in and study, that some people completely overlook and ignore them entirely. But trust me when I say, as basic as they may seem, these are at their core essential to helping us thrive creatively. Because the actual secret to becoming a better artist is spending less time on your art and more time on yourself. Hey there, Neddy here. Welcome or welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're new to my channel, hi, my name is Oge, also known online as Neddy. I'm an aspiring artist with a background in concept art and illustration, currently sharing my art journey and all the things I learned along the way here on YouTube. The first habit is incorporating more movement into your routine. And before you jump into conclusions, no, I'm not here to tell you to go grind at the gym. Trust me, I'm not a gym girly. As much as I want to be, I am not a gym girly. But even the little things like daily stretching and going out for walks is honestly good enough. It's something, especially as artists that we are constantly sat locked in our room. We tend to just not move our bodies enough. Earlier this year, I got diagnosed with severe vitamin D deficiency. And I mean severe vitamin D deficiency. Like, I had to get prescribed vitamin D. That's how intense it was. Who freaking gets prescribed vitamin D? I'd made it a constant habit to try and go out as much as possible, even if it's just for a quick walk down the block. Another habit that I picked up last year was morning stretches. This right here is a yoga mat that I bought from Dollarama. It's really cheap and really, as you can see, it's in a really poor condition, and that's because it's really cheap. But this has been the best investment in my life. I used to struggle a lot with very bad back pain, and that's because my posture is literally nothing to write home about. And it really affected my ability to sit down and draw, because every time I would sit down, I would just feel this like intense pain. But after I incorporated stretching every morning to my routine, I can confidently say that I no longer experience back pain. I say that and I just had to like crack my back. But yeah, I put this as number one because I think it's literally the most important. If there's anything I want you to take away from this video is please stand up and go touch grass. Move your body, exercise, just do something. The next habit I have for you is something I've heard on the internet that I really love, which is spend more time with paper. I am a digital artist, and I'm sure most of you watching this might also be digital artists. But I think it's very, very important for us to go back to our roots and spend more time with paper. And this can be in any way. Reading, journaling, scrapbooking, drawing traditionally. The most important thing is that we spend more time with the actual tactile medium, the physical medium, which is paper. As much as I'm a digital artist, I've always been really in love with traditional mediums. My early days of drawing were all traditional, as you can see, drawing on scraps of paper, and I still try my best to keep a sketchbook. Now granted, I don't sketch as often as I should, but I try my best, and that's what matters. Another way I spend time with paper is daily journaling. Part of my morning routine every day is to write at least 2 pages in my journal. It can be anything as simple as writing what I did the day before, what I plan to do that day, or getting more in touch with my feelings and emotions about like certain topics or things that I'm going through. Journaling has to be the most healing habit that I can recommend. There's something so therapeutic about just sitting down with your thoughts and writing them out on paper. This is my journal. I think it's so cute, and I just wanted to show you guys because I love it so much. I got the stickers from Stationery Pal, and oh gosh, guys, look at that. It's so cute. and it's literally just pages and pages of pure emotion. Another way to spend time with paper is reading. Now, granted, I'm not the best at this. I do read, but all I read is manga and I read it on my phone, so maybe not the best to give advice on reading. I am, however, trying to pick back physical reading. So I got myself some comic books and The Song of Achilles, which guys, I am not mentally prepared to read this book. I read it up to here and I am scared. I am already emotionally attached to these characters and I've been procrastinating reading because I am scared of the inevitable pain that I am going to face at the end. Okay, habit number 3, and that is make art beyond what you typically consider as art. So I think us artists really attach our identity as artists to the type of art we create. And this can be problematic. I know it is for me. I see myself as a concept artist and illustrator. So whenever I do anything beyond that, I don't necessarily consider it as art, even though it's technically still making art. I think it's very important for us to have other artistic and creative hobbies other than what we, I guess, primarily consider as art. Things like photography, dance, playing a musical instrument, scrapbooking, crafting, whatever. These are all still different ways that we express ourselves creatively. For me, one of those creative habits is crafting. I'm a craft girly through and through. You see this pink journal that's kind of become a staple in my backdrop? This is my scrapbook. For so long, I didn't consider the art that I made in my scrapbook as art. You know, because it's just like me having fun, putting paper together. And it's not as if what I was making was technically art, concept art, illustration, and all that stuff. But once I realized that I'm getting the exact same creative fulfillment that I would get from making an illustration while I work in my scrapbook, that's when I realized how important it is as well for my mental health. It's literally just pages and pages and pages. Oops. Right. Cut. Ah! That's enough. That's enough of that, okay? That's enough of that for now. But other than being another way to express ourselves creatively, we can also learn a lot from all these other creative outlets. For example, I recently picked up photography. Not photography, like very amateur photography. Like I don't take photographs on my camera. It's all like very simple pictures. I use this app called Locket with my friends, and I basically just try to take a new picture every day. I find that it has made me more observant in my everyday, looking for nice compositions and colors and lighting situations to take photographs. Now, they might be very simple and these photos are only for my friends and I, but the important thing is that I'm finding other ways to express myself creatively rather than just what I would typically consider art. And last but certainly not the least, habit number 4. I just noticed when I do 4 like this, I'm technically saying 8, but it's fine. Romanticizing life and living in the moment. I think this habit is kind of like a combination of all previous habits. In an era where we're constantly feeling rushed to be at a certain place at a certain time, certain skill level, it's overwhelming. This is why habits like going out for walks, spending time with paper, practicing other creative outlets is very essential to help us live in the moment. Simple things like romanticizing your morning coffee and journaling to the sunrise. All these things are things that can heal us and help us feel grounded. In order to make art that can relate to other people, in order to make art that we want people to feel, we have to first understand ourselves and understand the concept of living and being present. Because that's what makes us human, and that's the only way your art can feel human. I've definitely been trying to practice romanticizing my life a lot more. Things like not taking everything too seriously as well, because it's not that deep. That's my motto in life. It's not that deep. And I think all these habits are very important for us as humans, but especially for artists since we want to express ourselves. If we don't focus on building ourselves, there'll be nothing left to express. We're constantly always focusing on our skills, how to get better, how to improve. YouTube is flooded with tutorials and step-by-step processes, productivity videos on how to stay efficient and up on your to-do list. But I think we also need to be reminded to take time and focus on healing. Obviously, I'm not saying you shouldn't study or you shouldn't try to get better. Of course, that's not the case. I study all the time. At least I try. I'm just here to remind you that there's more to life than constantly locking in every single day and focusing on studying. You know, you're allowed to go out and live life. make experiences, then come back and do that later. You know, you're fine, it's fine. Now, beyond the habits that I've mentioned in this video, there are a lot more advice that I often hear circulating around the art community that I believe have been severely misunderstood. And I made a video a few years back, I guess, debunking them. So I'll leave that video right here for you to go check out after this. Thank you so much for watching this video. I really do hope you found it useful. Please go out and touch grass, and I'll see you in the next video.